Russia has issued a sharp warning to Europe's eastern flank, accusing Poland and the Baltic states of making what the Kremlin calls a historic and dangerous mistake. As tensions harden along NATO's eastern border, Moscow is now openly questioning whether Europe is preparing for a wider confrontation. Speaking in an interview with Kremlin pool journalist Alexander Unashev, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Russia's relations with Poland, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania have reached a breaking point. Peskov accused political leaders in those countries of systematically demonizing Russia rather than pursuing cooperation. He said Moscow really does have problems with Poland and the Baltic states, arguing that leaders who come to power there adopt what he described as an intense hostility toward Russia and Russians. According to Peskov, this approach, in his words, represents a big mistake with long-term consequences. The Kremlin claims these countries could have benefited culturally and economically from closer ties with Russia, but instead chose confrontation. Relations deteriorated sharply following the escalation of the Ukraine conflict in 2022, reshaping security calculations across Eastern Europe.
There are countries with whom for many centuries we have, let's just say, a significant deficit in friendly sentiments. Let's take Poland, for example, shall we? With Poland, we genuinely have issues, and with the Baltic states, we truly have problems. They constantly, for some reason, they fear us, they demonize us, and everyone who comes to power there just starts to fiercely hate Russia and Russians.
Is this a mistake? It's a mistake, a very big mistake, because from Russian culture,
Through their interactions with Russia, these countries could gain a great deal for themselves.
Poland now finds itself on the front line, sharing a border with Russia's Kaliningrad exclave, while Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania border mainland Russia. In recent weeks, Warsaw announced it would withdraw from the Ottawa Convention, a treaty banning anti-personnel landmines. Poland says it will ramp up landmine production to fortify its border, citing fears of a potential conflict with Russia. The three Baltic states finalized their own exits from the treaty in December, pointing to what they call an increasing threat from Moscow.
The situation is not only concerning Poland, but on a global scale it is very dynamic, and this strategic uncertainty which has been accompanying us for many, many months, triggered by the war in Ukraine, but not only that, also by other dramatic events, demands a very serious geopolitical reflection and a very adequate approach to thinking about the future of Polish diplomacy, one that truly addresses its real challenges.
It's no coincidence.
Today, everyone in Poland is also very emotionally focused on the tasks of Polish foreign policy, on our relations both with countries posing threats to Poland and with our allies. Today, we also have a great reason for satisfaction, and I wanted to thank everyone involved in this truly very serious undertaking. I'm speaking here about the SAFE program. I know that statistics, numbers, and figures no longer make much of an impression, perhaps because we proved to be a very effective government when it comes to mobilizing resources, both domestic and foreign, and when it comes to Poland's defense. But today we are dealing with an absolutely exceptional event, and no, I will not hesitate to use a term that is sometimes overused. This is a momentous occasion. The SAFE program was, in a certain sense, conceptualized and designed by Poland, initiated, invented. And from the very first days of our government, we have made every effort to ensure that the defense of Europe's eastern border, NATO's eastern border, and therefore our own eastern border,
Was a matter
vitally important, not only for Poland, but for its Polish soldiers, for the Polish border guard, but for it to become a significant challenge for all of Europe. And I'm speaking here primarily about its financing. We are doing very well currently the best in Europe when it comes to securing our land border. We've done this with our own resources. Eastern Shield, the earlier sealing of the border against illegal migration. These were the first tasks we set for ourselves. And we truly, as Poland, performed a gigantic job which became a model for the entire Western world. How to simply ensure state security and seal borders without unleashing campaigns of hatred, contempt, without striking at the essence of humanity. Both in terms of the external military threat as well as the danger associated with organized illegal migration. From our perspective, the SAFE program was always intended to be a project that would allow us to use European funds on a massive scale when it comes to the Polish defense industry and the Polish border. We focused on these two things. Ladies and gentlemen, the money that Poland will receive from the SAFE program is a greater amount than the entire defense budget of Spain or the entire defense budget of Italy.
And I'm exclusively discussing the SAFE program's funds. I'm not referring to our national defense budget expenditures.
So the scale here is really absolutely unprecedented. We are talking about approximately 200 billion zlotys. Funds that have been organized by the European Union, and 80% we estimate cautiously that it's roughly 80% of these funds will go in this way to Polish companies as well, to the Polish armaments group, to both private and state-owned entities. So there will be a direct investment in the Polish economy.
This was exactly what we were after from the very beginning.
This is what it's called.
You know, quite mysteriously, dual purpose, but we are about dual purpose. So with this approach for funds to serve both the economy and defense, to be useful in both civil and military applications. The SAFE program here is a prime example of this. These funds will accelerate the Polish economy. This money will be invested in almost 30 projects. Among these more than 100 projects, some are directly the East Shield and the Eastern border, so they will also directly contribute to our national security. Prime Minister Kosiniak-Kamysza and I will soon be present at the launch of a significant new investment, whose primary objective will be the drone-based protection of Poland's eastern border, and consequently the security of Europe as well. A crucial element of the East Shield is the SAN anti-drone systems program. They must be the most advanced in the world and also flexible and adaptable to any potential new threats. I am pleased that, if all goes well, later this week we will be with the Prime Minister, who initiated the significant and grand undertaking. I thank you all very much once again. I want to say that this is our obvious and clear responsibility, and we will certainly be held accountable for it. It was also a profound and deeply personal ambition of mine that we could honestly tell the Polish people, looking them directly in the eye, that Poland's eastern border would be secure thanks to this effort. As of today, at this very moment, the land border that Poland shares with Belarus and with Russia is currently the most heavily guarded border among all the European borders. And this is certainly not our last word on this topic. I would therefore like to extend my sincere gratitude to you once more, and we shall now proceed with the established order of business. Thank you.
Russia has repeatedly dismissed claims it plans to attack NATO nations, calling those accusations nonsense. However, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has warned that increasingly aggressive rhetoric from senior NATO officials suggests the West is preparing for a direct clash. As NATO reinforces its eastern defenses and Russia responds with warnings of escalation, Europe's security landscape appears more volatile than at any point since the Cold War. The question now is whether this growing mistrust leads to deterrence or something far more dangerous.